you have questions to ask me, or do you want me to say something? Well, you got the press note that has been circulated to you, and also the resolutions that have been passed since the media conference yesterday. The discussion on the political resolution has begun, and it will be concluded today. And once that is adopted, then the political line for the party for the coming 3 years and the tactical line, according to the political understanding, that is the political tactical line, will be in place. The Congress will take those decisions. And then we will review our organization. And that organizational review is naturally going to be a limited review, because we have already decided to conduct an organizational cleanup, preferably at the end of this year, where the detailed analysis of what needs to be done in order to improve the party organization and its links with the people, this task will be undertaken there. So you have all the details of the pre-Congress amendments that have been moved to the political resolution, the report from the amendments that was placed yesterday when the political resolution was placed for the discussion in Congress, and the various resolutions that we have adopted. Among this, I would like to mention that we are probably the first party as a party to take position on the issue of net neutrality. And we have very clear and very firm on this aspect, that there cannot be any control of the accessibility of information to the people, and hence no regulatory authority in terms of a censorship. So given this position of the party, we will oppose all such moves that will try to restrict the flow of information through the internet and the accessibility of this information to everybody universally. This dovetails to our party's understanding that knowledge is universal. There cannot be either a monopoly over the dissemination of knowledge or a control over the manner in which this knowledge and information is distributed. The other issue, we have been spearheading the struggle for gender equality. So the issue of crimes against women is something not unusual in our party for us to move a resolution. But we have demanded for the first time an unusual element in this. We have called for a code of conduct for men in public places that should be ensured through the suitable mechanism. We are prepared to discuss the mechanisms, but it is the ensuring of gender equality is not only the protection of the right of women, that is one important aspect, but it is also to ensure that there is a certain behavioral norms and certain code of conduct that should be followed by the men as well. How this will be enforceable, we are prepared to discuss, but we think this is a concept that the time has come for such a concept to be introduced. So these are the things, 7 resolutions that have been adopted, have been listed, and I think all of you have been given the copies. So now the floor is yours. So what
are amendments coming for political resolution?
Yes, yes.
How many have come so far?
That exact count I won't be able to give. They're all being processed, because as it comes, the time for that has already been exhausted. In the sense they had to be submitted by about 11 today. So they're all being processed, and we know in a couple of hours what is the number of amendments. Because the inner party democracy in our party is such that you have pre-Congress amendments, which are considered, and a report is presented on the pre-Congress amendments, which is a very important item on the agenda. It is not only a formality of exercise of inter-party democracy, but pre-Congress amendments is an important, a report on pre-Congress amendments is an important report in the sense that it shows or reflects the way the party rank and file is thinking and what is their opinion on what the party central committee has proposed before them in form of any resolution that has been sent to the party union. So that stage of inter-party democracy is over. Now the second stage, where every delegate has the right to move an amendment, those will be considered, and a report on that will be presented before the resolution is adopted. So that is the procedure that we follow.
One major issue, I'm very brief for the time is now.
Yeah.
One major setback that the party has identified is the lack of interest shown by the younger generation.
Lack of?
Interest shown by the younger generation. The younger generation. It's about 6% according to the party document. Will we see a phase which will understand the issues of the youth and a phase which will appeal to the youth at the end on Sunday as the General Secretary of the party?
Surely you would, because any phase of the party has to appeal to the youth and has to be appealing to the youth. Whoever the party, all of us together decide. And that is because it is a fact that 2/3 of our population is youth. And you cannot escape from that, fact of life. And the point is, it's not that the students and youth are uninterested. The point is that they are not showing interest in us. So we are not catering to what their interests are. There's also that aspect which we are looking into. Our forms of communication, our forms of reach, our issues that we take up, the style of work, the question of campaigning, these are all important issues which are part of our discussions now, and they'll continue in the party plenum.
Why was it in 2014? Why was it in 2014 that you were so hard to form an alliance with parties like AIDMK, which is a completely right-wing, anti-working class party, and had alliances with the BJP in the previous period, but you call it a secular and a democratic, and you try to form an alliance, but they rejected you, and also the JDU and the BJD, you're trying to form an alliance with all these parties, which are completely right-wing parties, but you call them secular and democratic. And now, how do you then explain these, exercises?
You see, first of all, understand a fundamental reality of India. If we were strong enough to be the alternative, then we wouldn't form any alliances. It's obvious. So the point is that you require a coalition of forces which is necessary to, let's say, withstand a certain direction in which the country is being taken, which is not in the interest of the country or the people. So there always, not only us, everybody has to identify which we consider to be the main obstacle for the creation of a better India. Now many of these allies that you've spoken of are all of us know, are all representing classes which are not the classes that we represent, whose advance we would want. But at specific junctures in the political life of the country, there are certain objectives that have to be achieved. So who will go along with us in achieving that objective? That is the principal criteria. Otherwise, that is why there are different political parties. They have different ideologies, they have different programs. Otherwise, there won't be any alliance. No? So right-wing, left-wing is defined in terms of the policies, but what is the objective at the moment? And what we have said, today's objective, very clearly for India's sake and for the people's sake, and for the creation of a better India, and our understanding is clear. It is for us to realize our own potential. The main obstacle in doing that for the Indian people to realize their own potential and the country to realize its own potential is this Hindutva forces, which today not only represent the communal polarization efforts and offensive to the various campaigns that all of us are familiar with, the country is Love Jihad, Ghar Wapsi, etc., etc., but who also represent the vanguard of the neoliberal economic policies, which they are today initiating and aggressively pursuing, more aggressively than Dr. Manmohan Singh did. So it's no longer a fight against communalism, a fight against economic policies. These are merged together into a single fight for the Indian people, for both the sake of the country of India as we know of it, and for improving the livelihood of the people. So that is the central thrust. So in pursuit of the central thrust, who are the forces that will come along, what will be done, that is one aspect, but the most important aspect that we are discussing is that our own strength has to grow sufficiently in order to discharge this responsibility. And how do we go about doing that? So this is the main thrust. It's no longer a separation of communalism and economic policies, it's the merging together, the melding of both these aspects in this Modi government.
Sir, question of youth was raised here. Don't you think that CPM has another problem of expanding its base in Hindi speaking, Hindi heartland? It has been a discussion for a long time. So don't you think new leadership reflect both the attention towards youth and also understanding of people in Hindi and ease with this?
Of course, you're only stating the obvious. You're required to.
But is being considered?
What are the factors?
Being considered
What are they
considered?
Surely everything will be considered, the collective wisdom of the party will prevail, and all these factors will be taken into account. And yes, there are many things. For instance, the point that you raised, a point that is actually our Achilles heel, and that is your Hindi belt. Why are we not advancing? We have repeatedly said, but this time again, the first day we moved a resolution on the 125th anniversary of Dr. Ambedkar's birth anniversary. Now this we do, all the time for the last 20 years. But what have we said this time? Which also we have said earlier, but that is a focus now. That the class struggle in India stands on two legs. One is economic exploitation, the other one is social oppression. Forget running and advancing, but we can't even walk if we do not take up both these issues simultaneously. We'll only be limping if we don't take it. So the issue of concentrating simultaneously on issues of social oppression, which is main caste oppression, gender, tribals, minorities, all these aspects, and the economic issues of economic exploitation. This combination is what is required.
Rajya Sabha.
One by one.
Rajya Sabha. This President's last motion was that when the amendment was moved, we took the support of Congress to get it passed. How do you explain that situation in the light of the new PTA?
Listen, we moved an amendment, in fact the amendment that I moved on which we took a vote in the Rajya Sabha was an amendment we moved. Now who supported us was the people who supported us at that point. I'm very glad that they supported us because it was a very important amendment and that's the first defeat in the parliament for the Modi government. So seeking support in the parliament to get your point of view adopted is a very elementary part of parliamentary tactics. So on that, who will come along with you is strengthening your position, our position, which is what happened on the court, which is again what is happening on the land acquisition bill. You had this 14 parties march to the President of India. So in Parliament, yes, on issues and even outside Parliament, on issues, let's say, of communal polarization, of this love jihad, of the Ghar Wapsi, on the question of attacks on the minorities, on what is happening against the churches and the Christian minority today, on what is happening on many other issues of communal polarization. If other parties are willing to come, very good, we will welcome it. So it depends on the issue on which we are moving. Yes, ma'am.
Does it involve you joining hands with Congress?
Joining hands with those who are with us on that issue.
isn't that a
No,
reality?
so that it. 1 minute. There's a lady with the mic in her hand.
Isn't that a reality that in electoral politics?
Gender equality, madam. So let her ask first. So as it is, so between the two of you, I'm very happy. So not between men and women. And it's between two of my lady friends.
Manokya here from our second headline today. Just wanted to know that you study the losses and of course gains in the past 2 decades.
Sorry?
You will be studying, you have been in past 2 days, you've been studying the losses and gains of past 2 decades. What has gone wrong? Is it the policies or the basic implementation?
Well, both aspects of it. What is wrong with the implementation, we'll study in detail in the plenum. What is wrong with the policy part of it or corrections that are required in the policy part of it is what we have discussed yesterday. But both have to be together now. So the process will be complete only once the plenum is over. Yes, 1 minute, 1 minute.
The thing is, I have 2 questions. One is regarding Congress.
Don't take advantage of the fact that for a woman we gave you the chance first. I'm sorry.
Well, you didn't
One
actually
question.
consider
One
me
question.
one. So the thing is, I just wanted to know that isn't it a reality that in electoral politics it's very difficult to give an alternative or give a better government to the people to join hands with secular parties like regarding the UPA time, you had to support a Congress-led government. I mean, in case of such situations, what will be the path taken by CPIM? And my second thing is, in today's political line discussion, I believe states like Chhattisgarh, UP and West Bengal have been criticizing the leadership for coming out with a number of documents over the years, but has not been able to actually help in growth of this party.
Your first question. The question is that we will tackle that sort of a situation when that situation emerges. Right now I'm saying for the interest of the people of India and for the interest of India as a whole. This offensive of the communal Hindutva, the hardcore Hindutva agenda, combined with the neoliberal economic policies, that is the major focus, that major issue on which we have to protect ourselves. And weakening them, it means strengthening the idea of India, etc., etc., and improving people's lives. Now, what will happen eventually in the future at the time of the elections, which sort of a situation will come, that we'll have to wait. And remember, in politics, when you try to anticipate what is likely to come and therefore take a step, that anticipation itself changes. It's a dynamic equation, it's like a game of chess. You can't make a move until the other one makes the move. So we wait till what happens and then we will see.
My question.
As far as this criticism of not much is being done, it's always welcome and a good criticism. And if it's based on certain issues and facts that the party should have taken up, the central leadership should have taken up, then that is something that will definitely be seriously. That is the process of inner party correction that always happens. So it's very good, very welcome that people are. And we are very happy, unlike many other parties, we are not unhappy when all the states don't endorse what we have been doing from the centre, in which case it's not a live party. Good? So I'm sure that
My question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Aja.
You were saying we will take a call when we reach there in terms of political positioning and all that in the future. But your tactical line or whatever political stand you have taken, that clearly states we are not going to have any alliance with all these secular parties. They are opportunistic. They don't go with us. They are not coming on issues and they vacillate here and there. So you are presuming that they will not come with us, and you are then expecting that in the future we join hands with them.
No, I'm
How
not.
can this be?
I am neither presuming nor expecting. Neither now or in the future or what will happen. What I am saying is, we are very clear as far as CPIM is concerned that the primacy, our primacy of work lies in strengthening the left. First, strengthening ourselves. On that basis, strengthening the left. And on the basis of a strengthened CPIM and a strengthened left, to work towards the strengthening of left and democratic forces, which we think is the real alternative to the existing set of policies by the ruling caste parties. Now, the situation of elections and electoral choices, etc., will come at the time of elections. That is what I said. It depends on the concrete situations then. Right now, our focus of attention is that even our capacity to play an important role in national politics depends on our strength.